Greetings and salutations to all you folks out there. This is a map that we've only seen one time before, Stella. It was a map created by one of the guys that plays in the FAF community, the Bush, who I believe is the Solar Moose in this game. Awesome map. I went over it last time, but just to review it again, there's a little bit of reclaim around each place, not too much, not too little. Plateau with 4 mass extractors in the back, and then it is an asymmetrical naval map. It kind of reminds me of how Sentence plays, but the map is smaller, so it is insanely aggressive. I'm going to slow this down for a second so we can catch the initial builds, hopefully. You have a single player. Actually, this looks like a 1 versus 1 version of the map. This is different than the version I saw before. When you have the 4-player team map, you have 2 people on the cliff edge over here where the water cannot be accessed unless you edge build a factory, and then you have 1 person on the beach. So it's 2 versus 1 and 2 versus 1, and then the mid. So you have to work as a team. Team play is essential. If you guys have not tried that map out as a team game, I would definitely recommend it. And this is Stella 1 versus 1 specifically. So there is 2 hydros on the spawns, and then there are 2, 1 on each plateau, and then there's a little bit more even mass extractor spread and not necessarily any specific place for other players to be. Let's go ahead and introduce the players and jump into this. We've got Nekulich versus the Solar Moose. That is the Bush. These are identically ranked players in identical factions, so should be an even game, I would think. Can't really get any more even than that. Looks like Solar Moose is going for a AFK ACU. Excellent strategy there, my good sir. He is going to build the Hydro, second air, pulling light PGen load, and then probably expanding later. Nekulich, on the other hand, has gone first air. Of course, his Seraphim, that is completely doable. The air factory builds engineers ever so slightly faster than the land factory, actually. Not by much, but just barely. And then the roll-off time kind of makes up for that. And he is going to go first air, then land, then that is another land. No, that may be another air. Not 100% sure on that one. We will check back and see. And then we're seeing some expansion from him as well. And this is an enormous string right here. This one engineer is building 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mass extractors and doing all the manual reclaim as well. So that is an ambitious little son of a gun. He has a full plate, 3 minutes worth of work lined up for him. And then, holy mother of land scouts, these things don't even hover, so I don't know why he's building so many. He should be able to just build like 1 or 2. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, I would think would be plenty, but no, he's going to build 6 or 7 and a preemptive artillery to send out across the water directly over here off of the shore and try to pick up any expansions. Got drops coming out from the Solar Moose. He's going to drop 2 engineers on the right-hand side to build, and it looks like we've got 2 engineers coming from Nekulich to try to get a base up and running. If this plays anything like Twin Rivers, not Twin Rivers, White Fire, that is the map that I'm thinking of. When you start in the corners and you have an isolated landmass, if you can get a land spam up on one side or the other, it is a huge, enormous bonus to you because you can take the fight to them and hopefully secure your entire expansion, which it looks like the Nekulich is doing a pretty good job of, and then also play out some aggression on the other side. And that will severely hamper your opponent's movements. And this is a ginormo gargantuan artillery spam that we have going already here. Nekulich is pushing artillery out of 3 factories, it looks like. No, 2. That is a second air factory. Already got 22 artillery on the board at 6 minutes, and he's going to come out here and lay down some fire on these expansions. If he could just get a scout out there, that'd be a huge help to him. And he is going to be sending tanks out and about, but unfortunately it looks like he has not turned all of his factories on, and he is not building as quickly as he could be, and that little stall right there may lose him this expansion base. The proxy base was a fantastic idea, and regardless of whether it fails or not, it will have slowed Moose down significantly. Now it looks like he will actually be able to pull out. It is 3 factories to 2 for Solar Moose, so he may actually stand a chance of doing pretty well there. Alright, got 2 frigates out for the Solar Moose. That is going to be the best option for denying these artillery. But we do have a frigate coming along for Nekwalich that is going to... yeah, it is going to murder the face off of 1 frigate and then try to pull some denial. It is going to be an artillery war out there in the middle. Not something you see every day. Seraphim versus Seraphim artillery war out on the water. Got even more engineers coming, but unfortunately there is a nice little group of tanks there. And they are going to mow down that entire group before they can do anything about it. And that was an effective raid. Good job to the Solar Moose. Right now, he has 55 to 83 mass income. Huge, huge eco disadvantage. Luckily, he has gotten out enough frigates to deny the water. And on this other side, there is no access for units to go up onto the beach. So that is actually going to pretty well secure the water situation for now, at least. All of these mass extractors were cleaned out by these 5 tanks. That is an awesome thing to see. And then we have Ilshava's on the field. A Tech 2 factory has come up over here. That is going to give Nekwalich access to flak, which is immediately going to pop out. I thought interceptors are going to nail that transport. Good job there. Not a good move by Moose, building his HQ in the most likely position for it to die. Was not a good idea. And then frigates and a single destroyer are going to push up to the north and start hitting these naval factories. If he can knock Nekwalich out of the water, he will have actually gone a long way towards bringing this game back. But oh, we're watching the map disintegrate under these land forces. We've got mobile missile launchers, flak coming in for cover, multiple Ilshavas, mass extractors starting to go down for Moose. He's down to 60 mass income, and his base is about to get pillaged. He's throwing out a good game there, and honestly, I could understand if he quit right now because this does not look healthy at all. But here comes the rally of the troops. He was able to get enough land factories online over here. He's got to be mass stalling. He is very hard. ACU is kind of in a tough spot here. He is going to be able to take out all of those factories. If he can just get these units out of his base, he'll be able to use the reclaim to come back from this potentially, but he's got to get a move on right now. He's got 35 mass income. Basically, his whole eco is gone. And, well, he is producing engineers, so he can expand quickly. He's got to get a move on with his unit usage, though, because he's having units sitting idle. He needs to be running out and picking up these mass extractors ASAP and just getting back on his feet. If he can do that, I think he actually still stands a chance here of redeeming himself. He did force Nekwalich out of the water. That is going to be a huge bonus to him. Nekwalich does have 2 Tech 2 power generators up and solid eco all the way across the board. Very well balanced. Building a 3rd T2 gen. He must be about to go RAS. That is the only reason I can think of for building that much Tech 2 power on that little mass income. Only 93 mass. He could very well do with only 2 T2 gens, considering how many T1 power generators he has. He's going to build a torpedo launcher. Interesting note, the Seraphim destroyer is outranged by the Tech 2 torpedo launcher. For all factions, that is a common trait shared with UEF, but the UEF and Seraphim make up for it with the cruiser, which you can use to bombard the shorelines, and that gives them the reach to get rid of those naval defenses. Alright, looks like Solar Moose is very slowly but surely locking his landmass back down. He's throwing up a power grid over here. I'm sure he has 1,000 power still online. He had huge power formations built over here, 3 of them. Nice little diamond there. That is probably a template. I would bet money on it. He is getting air back online, building some extra transports. He's got 2 here. He will have issues with air control though. And that cruiser is going to come in and start laying down some fire on those torp defenses. That looked like an artillery shot, but I don't see. There's the artillery right there. There's a Tech 2 RD station that is going to be able to lay down some covering fire. Nekulich is going to start working on some Tech 2 TMD. Got another cruiser out from Moose harassing this shoreline as well. And Tech 3 power going up. Thankfully it is behind TAC defense. Lots of transports coming out. I am foreseeing some drops in the near future. Hopefully Solar Moose can get past these interceptors, although sitting up here on the ground, they are not really being of much use. Engineer's going to come in and refuel and repair these interceptors. RK's graphics mod is actually pretty cool. I love how the Seraphim, instead of smoking and getting flames on them, they actually start like glitching out. And in come the Ilshevas, easily wiping out all of those mass extractors, starting to move to the right, basically doing to Nekulich what Nekulich did to Solar Moose. And another drop coming in. He's going to recycle all of these units that he built, that he was defending his landmass with. He's now going to cart them over here. Tech 3 artillery coming up, and probably some Othams, yes, as soon as they can, but the Ilshevas will be there before a critical mass of Othams can be reached. I think that Tech 3 tank, there are 2 of them. They might be able to survive considering the fact that they are firing from inside a shield. Maybe Nekulich will be okay. Not, yeah, he will. He got a 3rd tank out, so that is going to be able to kill those Ilshevas pretty easily. Got another drop right here, and then Navy on the shoreline. Solar Moose is pulling a wicked comeback out of this. He basically lost his entire eco, almost his entire landmass, and then was able to recycle that reclaim and come back from it with a superior number of units. So you can see he's actually ahead of Nekulich on eco now. He was able to take out all of these mass extractors, put a major hurting on him eco-wise, and now he is bombarding the shoreline with 3 cruisers. I would get the destroyers up there as well. Unfortunately, he is still struggling for air control, but that situation, I think, was just rectified by those cruisers just melting about 2/3 of Nekulich's interceptor force. Things are not looking good for Nekulich now. I must say, tanks, he's going to lose 1 tank to those cruisers, and even more drops. Loaded up yet again with Ilshevas. Interesting thing about the Seraphim, their Tech 1 transport can carry an extra unit. As you know, it has 8 unit capacity as opposed to the 6 for the other factions Tech 1 transports, which means it can carry 4 to 3 Tech 2 units. Got strap bombers coming out for Nekulich. It looks like he is going to try to pull a snipe. Not sure how successful he will be, but he is going to attempt it. Got a Tech 2 transport online for the Solar Moose. The same thing goes with Seraph. Oh, that cruiser is catching the mountain range right there. No, it is not. TMD is zapping it exactly on the mountain range, which is kind of deceptive. Alright, 4 strap bombers going to come towards the south side, flying over a cruiser tailed by interceptors. They're all going to make it. ACU, oh man, 1600 health. Going to climb in the transport and fly away. Strat bombers successfully evaded at the last possible second. Strat bombers are going to try to fly through the interceptor swarm again. And kaboom! Solar Moose goes down. That was a very close. If he would have just flown around in the transport or dropped in the ocean, like right underneath his cruiser, he probably would have survived, and I think he could have actually brought that game back. He was a little behind in air. The Strat Bombers were going to be a problem, and a couple of ASF were starting to come online, but I think if he would have just kept building interceptors and pulled some anti-air online, there is no Tech 3, unfortunately, no SAMs. I don't know. That was a close call. Well done on the comeback. Unfortunately, it was not enough. Dropping that ACU there, the Strat Bombers did kill it. Alrighty, that is going to wrap up that game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, check out that 4 versus 4 map. I've played it on it a couple of times, and it is a good one. And thanks to the Bush for creating these maps. It's been a while since people have been around and created really good, solid, nice-looking maps. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next cast.